I'm going to go officially start now. So greetings, my name is Kimberly Knowles and welcome to our Explore Your Path or Exploring Majors and Minors webinar, where we'd like to introduce you to some of the resources that we have for students who are exploring major and minor interests. Let's see, before we get started, we're going to do some quick introductions. So I'll let my colleagues briefly share. We'd also love you to share. So if you want in the chat, put like your name and any majors or minors you're thinking about, and something you'd like to do for fun outside of school or work. And we're going to go ahead and do the same.
Hello, my name is Ashley Morello. I am an academic success coach at CASA, and I'm so glad that you've joined us today. And something that I have been doing during COVID is I've been really liking Legos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brenda Giarratano, and I'm an academic success coach as well in CASA. One thing that I like to do when I'm not working is I love to travel. I think traveling is fun. It's an open book, and you can just kind of create the story that you like. So welcome, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dina Davis, also from CASA, and my favorite way to spend time, I've been able to do a lot of it during the pandemic, is gardening. I like being outdoors and playing with flowers, and it's an excuse for kind of playing in the sandbox when you're an adult. So.
Awesome. And hi, and as I mentioned, I'm Kimberly Knowles. We're all academic success coaches here in CASA, and I really like dancing and singing. Actually, I've been taking a lot of ballet and different dance classes on Zoom, and I've been singing on this online karaoke app called Shmule. So that's like some of my favorite hobbies outside of work. So anyway, great. Like as everyone said, welcome. It's really good to see you. And we are all from CASA, the Center for Academic and Student Achievement, which is your home for compassionate academic and personal support that promotes holistic student development. So we get a lot of questions as like, what does that mean exactly? Because you may be wondering as well, because you probably heard that you're going to be getting a faculty or a major advisor, and you're also going to be, you've been assigned a CASA academic success coach. So what's the difference? So we like to say that in CASA, some of the key things we do are we provide academic coaching. We connect you to resources on campus, mostly on campus, sometimes off campus. We provide a supportive environment, so you can come and talk to us, with any question. You don't have to have it all figured out when you come to see us, and we help you develop skills to navigate the university. So we like to think, we like to say that we're kind of just like a compassionate place where you can come to when you maybe have a problem or a concern, or also if you have like some opportunities you're thinking about and you're wondering how to achieve those at the university. On the other hand, your faculty advisors or your major advisors, those are going to be specific to your major, and they can change, because like if you're starting off undeclared, you're going to be assigned one that'll be from the red comp department or possibly a different advisor. And as you declare different majors and minors, you'll be assigned specific people who are experts in those programs. And so because they're experts on the curriculum, they'll be more the ones that'll help you plan out like what classes you're going to take, the next semester, and also over the whole 4 years to make a plan. You'll usually get some kind of an advising hold before registration to make sure you go see them. And so they're the ones that will remove those holds. If any of you are coming in with transfer credits, or along the way, if you take kind of a class that needs to be special approved, they would do that. And so they're really very specific to your curriculum. Whereas CASA, we kind of like help in the background. We certainly sometimes answer some questions about how to schedule classes, but it's really more kind of a general level. So hopefully that's clear, but go ahead, feel free to ask questions in the chat if you have questions about that. And yes, and also I should mention in the School of Management, I see that Gregor here is an international business major. They kind of have an undergraduate advising program office that when you get to campus will be on the first floor of Malloy Hall. So I think they might now assign an actual advisor, but they also do a lot of group advising type things. And they have some drop-in hours, and they have a newsletter that they send out called the BSBA Buzz that they'll send out pretty regularly that will tell you how to access those specific business advisors. But yeah, so if you have any questions about this, feel free to put those in the chat. But I'll go ahead and keep moving on. Let's see. Okay, so we obviously don't have that much time today, so our agenda is pretty short. We want to basically go over a few things about our Explore Your Path portal, which is a resource we created to that you can access at 3 in the morning or any time of day to give you ideas around exploring majors and minors. And then I specifically want to go over a little bit about the focus assessment, because that's a tool that we recommend that you could actually use this summer to help you kind of hone in on some interests that you may want to explore once you get here. And then we'll leave some time for questions and answers. But again, feel free to put some in the chat along the way as things come to mind. So I'm now going to actually dive in and show you the Explore Your Path portal. So make sure to let me know if you can't see it. And so this is our Explore Your Path portal. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of it, but first I want to show you a video that we made a few years ago that kind of introduces it. So let's see. Let's go ahead and show that. Hi, I'm Kimberly Knowles. Welcome to the Explore Your Path portal. Are you overwhelmed by the process of choosing a major? We work with many students who face similar challenges and see them blossom in their new majors. We are confident that this portal will help you find your way. This portal is made up of 4 key sections: Find Yourself, Explore Careers, Explore Majors, and Launch Yourself. In Find Yourself, take the Focus 2 assessment to clarify your interests, personality, skills, and values. In Explore Careers, identify careers that relate to your interests, personality, skills, and values, and any majors you are considering. In Explore Majors, identify majors that will prepare you for any careers you are considering. In Launch Yourself, test your major and career choices through extracurricular activities and internships. Many students report that an experience helped them confirm a major or career interest. Explore the portal sections in any order. Each student is unique and every journey is different. If you aren't sure where to start, go to Find Yourself first to avoid rushing into decisions. Remember, you are not alone. Over 40% of students change their majors while they are in college. If you need inspiration, check out the various student videos throughout the portal. Your CASA Academic Success Coach is here to support you. The Priscilla A. Scotland Career Services Center is a valuable support as well. We wish you good luck and look forward to hearing about your journey. All right. So as you can see, by the way, we also have a number of other videos on our YouTube channel. So you can always get to those. We've actually videotaped students sharing their stories, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. You can get to it. This is our channel, USF CASA Explore Your Path Stories, and also you can get to it from the portal. You can see the link in the lower right-hand corner there. Okay, so I want to kind of walk you through just a few of the things in the portal. It's really meant to be pretty user-friendly, and we kind of divide it into 4 key phases. Find Yourself, which is a great place to start, as I mentioned in the video, kind of reflecting and kind of figuring out more about your interests and kind of who you are, and centering it in yourself. And I'm going to come back to that part a little bit later, because that's really where the focus comes in. So when I go into the focus, that's the best way we think to find yourself. Although we also have, under additional resources, some other little self-reflection things you can do as well. And then from there, it kind of forks into 2 different directions. Some students will reflect on themselves and think, wow, I know what I want to do for a living, but I don't really know what major. And so in that case, they'll go to the Explore Majors section first. And that's a great way to, it has a link to the list of majors and minors, which you can peruse and kind of see things that interest you. We give some ideas about other ways to find out about majors and how to maybe compare and contrast them, and ideas about how to actually reach out to potential programs. So it just gives a lot of ideas. And this is like I was mentioning about how we have different videos and stories on our blog of people who've done various majors, and some things around like pre-health and becoming a teacher, that are kind of little side programs. So there's a lot of stuff on there. And then the other avenue that I see people do is they love a certain major, like they're like, I love history. But they don't really know what they're going to do with that. It's like, what am I going to do with history? And so that's where Exploring Careers can come in. And so this gives a lot of ideas, many of which are borrowed from the career services page because they're a real key partner in this as well. That gives ideas around, looking into potential things. Especially, we love this, what can I do with this major resource, which kind of gives some ideas you can click into for different majors. It was not created by USF, but it's a good one. And then the last phase is launch yourself, which is kind of what I was getting at when I was talking about the hobbies, because sometimes by getting out there in the world and doing something outside of school, and also, maybe doing internships or volunteer work, you start to realize, wow, I really like this, or wow, like, well, I don't want to do that. And so, especially in your first year, we give lots of ideas about ways to kind of get out there and start getting real world experience. And that might help you determine a major. Sometimes it helps you determine like a minor, like you might take one of your hobbies and turn it into a minor. And sometimes, you end up doing something for your career, like I do. I'm a coach for a living, right? But I do a lot of the other things on the side. And so it might help you realize what type of job, like if you want a job that's going to take 60, 70 hours a week and you're not going to have a lot of time for hobbies, or if you want to get a job, go into a field that tends to have better work-life balance. And then we have a lot of other random things on our portal. This is actually a pretty helpful page. We often get the question, like, how do I declare a major? Like, you might realize you just decided to do a certain program, but you're not sure how to officially declare it. So this has some ideas around contacting the department, some specific things about psychology, because they're a little bit, well, every department's a little unique. Psychology is one of those. And then this has the actual online change of program form. Now, for those of you, most of you are incoming students, and this process is pretty much the same. It's just they don't require you to actually reach out to the department first before you declare a major, just over this summer before you start. So if for some reason you decide at this point you want to do a different major than what you're currently declared, you could actually just fill out the form, unless you wanted to switch to psychology, biology, engineering, design, or architecture, because unfortunately those majors are very impacted. They have too many students want to do them. And so if you wanted to do one of those, you could reach out to CASA and we could kind of put you on a list of students that are waiting to join those programs. Oh, great. And Brenda, Ashley and Brenda have put a link to the video and also, or was that our channel? And then also to the Explore Your Path portal in the chat for those of you who are interested. And then there's just a bunch of other random things. I encourage you guys to look into some of the fun additional resources. When we do put the video, the recording for this will eventually live under this webinars section down here. Okay, so now I want to go into the focus a little bit more. Let's see, I think I pretty much just say, yeah, we encourage you to take the focus assessment this summer. So you can get to that, as I was mentioning before, it tells how to get to it from the Find Yourself section. So what you would do is you go in here to where it says create your focus assessment profile. You would be creating a new account. And the only thing you have to remember when you get there, you put in all of your identifying information. It doesn't even have to be USF specific. You just put in an email and pick a username and a password. And then the access code is Don's, which is it says that right on the page there. And then once you've got an account, like I already have an account, then you go in and you'd log into it. Oh shoot, what is my password? Let me see if I remember. Oh man, I don't think I remember it. Let's see. Shoot, I don't remember my focus account password. So does anybody else remember their log on, of my team? Let's see if you could put it in the chat. But basically you go in, so for the focus, you go in and you create a bunch of assessments. So it asks you about your interests and your personality and your values and your skills. And you can complete the My Career Planning a readiness assessment and the academic strengths assessment, and but those aren't really as crucial. And then what it does is it connects with information from the ONET profile, which is something that the government actually has published that puts it tells kind of like, oh, it lists a bunch of occupations. So if you, let's say you have, it'll say, you have this particular profile of your interest, then it would actually say, here's, you might want to be a teacher, and then it'll talk about that. Let's see if I can find my log on for it. Aha, okay, wait, I think I found it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can log in so I can walk you guys through this. Okay, let's see. So it's a really great tool because there are other assessments out there that the Career Services Center can actually do with you. But, oh, yay, okay. Yeah, let's definitely save that log on. So you would not have this administrative website log on like I do, but you would just go directly into the student website. So as I was mentioning, these ones up here, you can do if you want. They're kind of nice reflections, but the real meat of it are these 5 assessments. And they each take about like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I mean, you want to make sure you're taking it somewhere where you can focus on it. Like I wouldn't recommend taking it on the bus. But it'll ask you different questions about your work interests, your things that relate to your personality, the things you like to do outside of work or school, values, skills. And for each one, it'll give you some results. Like for instance, the work assessment, this relates to this thing called the Holland codes that you may or may not have heard of, which kind of, the idea is that kind of different people who like certain types of activities might all kind of have a similar, like that knowing that about yourself tells kind of things you might be interested in. So it'll give you a little graph about it. And then you could look up particular careers related to that. But once you've taken all 5, you actually do this combine assessments tool. And then you go in and you can even select different educational levels. And you go in and it lists different occupations. So for instance, it said like, oh, I should be like an education professor. And so you might say like, oh, well, what is that? Or like, oh, I should be a marriage and family therapist. And it'll tell you typical salaries and which assessments it related to for you. So you click into it and it gives you some ideas about the occupation and the different tasks. It compares that profile I was mentioning. Like, so you can see here that I'm maybe like more artistic and creative than a typical marriage and family therapist. It talks about different skills and values and potential majors and minors that relate to it, earnings, as I mentioned. Sometimes, I don't think this one does, but sometimes if there are particular professional associations related to a career, it'll mention them down here, which can be really helpful. And then we've done a nice job. So, and I don't feel like you might not get that many that relate to all 5 or all 4. So you can kind of click whatever you want. But let's see, we actually link to programs. So you could see here when the occupations showed up, like, let's see, what's a good example? Like this one here said, I should maybe be like an area and cultural studies professor. And so these little links here actually link to the major information for that program at USF. So like if I wanted to do Asian studies, then it tells a little bit about it. It links to the major and minor checklist, and then it actually gives the contact information for that program. So you could reach out when you get here or even potentially this summer to find out more about it. And then one other feature, you can always get back to the home page of the Focus from this little house here. But I also want to show you this thing here that says, what can I do with a major in? That's kind of similar to that other thing I was talking about, what can I do with this major, except this one was created by the Focus. And it'll list also, you can see under here, you can sort by suggested, and that will go back to that kind of interest profile. And it'll say, hey, based on my interest profile, these are particular majors or master's programs that might be interesting to me. And then same thing, you can link to more detail about them. There's a way that you can save them, like you can save a major to look at in more detail, or in the occupations, you could save those for more detail. So it's a great starting point. We recommend that you take this. You can always take it again if like your interests start to kind of formalize more once you're here. And then, you're welcome to meet with your CASA coach about it this summer. If you want to kind of brainstorm, also career services is available this summer, and they also are familiar with the focus, and so they can be a great resource. You can make an appointment on their website for career and major exploration. So, you know, it's just a great thing that, you know, you can do on your own. We encourage you to talk it over and brainstorm with people. It's not prescriptive. So I've sometimes seen students say like, oh, it said I should be a gas station attendant. I don't want to be a gas station attendant. Like, don't feel that it's a prescription and it's the only thing you can do. It's just one tool of many that you can use. Like actually going back before again about your hobbies, like we were asking you in the beginning, you know, sometimes even just doing some reflection around those sort of things can also be really helpful. Like reflecting on, you know, what parts of the newspaper you like to read, or what type of articles you like to read online, or what type of movies you like, you know, like sometimes the things you do when you're having fun can be good clues for what you may want to do with your life. But anyway, so I think in terms of time, I want to make sure we're mindful of that. We're here if you have questions. I encourage you to either put them in the chat, or at this point, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have if you feel comfortable with that. We'll stick around for a couple of moments, but this was our introduction to the Explore Your Path portal and our resources. We encourage you to check it out more and consider taking the focus this summer to get a jump start, you know, so you'll be honing in on some majors and minors you may want to explore more once you get here. Oh, I see something. Oh, great. Okay, it looks like thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your time, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any more questions. All right, and with this, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the webinar. Again, thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day.